Why are you trying to destroy us?
I am not the destroyer.
Hello and welcome back to A Stark Contrast, where we discuss the differences and similarities between Marvel Comics and their MCU counterparts. And we're your hosts, Geoffrey
and Dai.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, Jeff.
Hello.
I don't know why I started doing like pinpointedly. Welcome back, Jeff.
Hey.
Welcome back.
I could not be welcome back.
So welcome back to a new episode of the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, funny enough, there's not a ton of news. I thought we were going to have a little more meat to the substance.
Just a little bit, you know.
A little bit. It's trickling down. We're coming down from the teaser hype of Avengers Doomsday. But related, Marvel on YouTube has officially published a countdown clock that is a live stream, no less. And it's like are we counting down to a live stream, or is it just the live stream that's counting down?
That's a good point.
Right?
That's a fair point.
Oh yeah, I think there's something happening here. But like, as we're recording this, there are 375 people watching this right now.
I mean, it has to be just pulled up. Just,
yeah.
like
people are just
hopefully to catch something. Like,
oh yeah,
a glimpse of, yeah.
Sure.
That's crazy.
Because the Russos are like, oh, keep an eye out. There are clues everywhere. And so currently the countdown is at 10 months, 27 days, and ticking by the second. So that's wild.
Yeah.
So there are squatters in the room and announcing all their favorites who are going to be in Doomsday, even though they're not going to be.
Yeah.
But if you have a little time to kill, go and check that out. And over in Marvel Rivals land, they've officially introduced yet another brand new season of the game, and Deadpool has joined the fray as the first triple type character.
Had to be him.
Jeff saw 5 minutes of gameplay, and what do you think?
He's just well, I've seen also like online
Deadpool.
people too. It's chaos.
He's quite literally chaos, and he takes over the screen. He has all this dialogue with every character, and he does not shut up. And related, and speaking of not shutting up, he's voiced by voice actor Alejandro Saab, who is a fan favorite for many a reason. So yeah, if you're into Rivals or you just love Deadpool, check him out. His dialogue with some of the characters is so funny. Like Rocket, actually kills me, because you have to remember it's a multiversal game.
Yeah.
So they don't all know each other. And when he dies, Rocket's like, who was that guy? Like, they don't even know who he is. But he's fourth wall breaking. Speaking of fourth wall, he'll be like, we're in a video game.
Yeah.
And he has dialogue
and then everyone's
with
like,
Jean.
he's like,
yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking
about.
about.
Yeah, exactly. Jean's like, oh, have you seen Scott? And he's like, oh, he's not playable yet. And Jean's like, I don't know what that means, but okay. It's really funny. It's just hilarious stuff. Really fun.
I can imagine the hours of voice lines.
Oh, I know.
That he had to do.
Think about that all the time, especially him, because he does not shut up, and he has tons and tons of runs. So I can imagine that he's getting some hours in for sure. And they have to add stuff constantly, because you imagine all those characters, reactions to those characters, and like hold or team up and all that. Oh my God. I mean, to be a voice actor again, that'd be pretty fun. I'm just saying.
I think it would.
Yeah. And so, some good stuff there. And then, of course, they're going to release more characters with this season. We still don't know who the other ones are, aside from Elsa Bloodstone, who...
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, she's coming out. We don't know when, but she's basically like the Gambit and Rogue drop. So we're expecting her in a week or 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever it is. And she's great in the comic books, absolutely awesome. So I'm happy to see her there. And then hopefully people will go back and watch Werewolf by Night, because she's in that too. So it's sparking a new era of that genre of character, thankfully. And we're seeing more of the branch out of the different types. So very excited to see that she's coming in. All of that said, I think it's time to dive into this episode's character study. But first, just a reminder, we are not experts. We don't claim to be. We're just a couple of nerds nerding out. And in this episode, we're nerding out about the Silver Surfer.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. And so, related episodes to this one are Fantastic Four character studies as well as Fantastic Four first steps. But, funny enough, we talk about Silver Surfer quite a bit in 118 Mephisto as well. And although we are covering both Silver Surfers in this episode, we're going to be focusing more on NORRIN RADD's version over SHALLA-BAL, though both will be in discussion. So as you can imagine, this iconic character was created by, solo for the record, Jack Kirby.
Wow.
There is no Stan Lee in the creation of at least NORRIN RADD's version.
Wow.
And so Norrin's first appearance was Fantastic Four number 48, March 1966. So it's just been a couple of years since the debut of the Fantastic Four. And so on the cover, you can see the Watcher, who is in peril with all the bystanders. And it says, the coming of Galactus.
Wow.
Yeah. And so other notable attributes, in addition to the Silver Surfer, this also contains, obviously, Galactus's first cameo, pre-first appearance. So they don't consider this his first appearance, even though he is a full, you can see his face, he says, I am Galactus, still a cameo. So, but it is worth a pretty penny. But before we get to that, can you guess the cover price?
In the 66? 15?
Oh, you're so close.
Was it under? 12?
12 centavos!
The 12 cents always gets me. Swear.
So you're right there, though. I would give it to you.
Like,
either
why
way.
are you making people give you a dime and 2 pennies?
That's the funny thing, right?
You know,
You
like,
imagine
just go up to the nickel. So
round it up.
So you're getting 2 coins instead of 3.
That also shows how important the penny was before.
Sure.
Now they don't exist. They're not pressing them anymore.
You're right.
Versus before, a dime and 2 pennies. Boom, got you this comic book. And so, the highest graded I found, you can actually get this. You don't have to go to auction to buy this comic. A CGC 9.0 on Shortbox is listed at $15,000. Gold signature series signed by Stan Lee. Additionally, you can get a regular CGC 9.0 for $5,000.
Oh my gosh.
So there's the difference between the cameo of Galactus versus the first appearance. So Surfer alone is worth $5,000, but if you throw in Galactus, that's a different story. So the next issue is worth more than this one is.
Got it.
And so on eBay, funny enough, majority of the listings were facsimile editions. So again, facsimiles were reprints of the original. And so there's a ton of people trying to hawk them to people who don't know any better. So they'll have them up for like $400 and it's like, that's a copy version, which you could get for $20.
Yeah.
It's really messed up. But just be careful if you're out looking for this one. There is a loose copy that the person who has listed it swears is a 9.0. It's a trust me bro scenario. And he listed that for $15.5 thousand. It's just hanging out. It's not even in a plastic.
What?
And he's like, give me 15.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
He's like,
All
give me
right.
$15,000. I swear it's 9.8. It's like, if it's worth that much, get it graded. And he won't because it's not worth that much. But it is up there.
The cost to grade it might cost more than
I know, exactly. Oh, God. And so don't get duped. There's a lot of ways to get duped with this one.
Yeah.
And so on the flip side of things, the lowest graded I found on Shortboxed was CGC 1.8 for $485. And then on eBay, 3.0 for $350. So there's
still
some.
think it's worth it. $400
Not
at a
for that
1.8,
low.
1.0.
Most collectors, at least the ones that I know, and even in card collecting, anything below 9.5 or 9, don't bother.
To this day, I want to see someone out there can show me like I want to see a pristine like high 9.8 maybe, let's say.
Yeah.
And I want to see a 1.0.
Yeah.
Like I want to see how bad
Yeah.
it is.
I mean, I got some comparisons for you, so I can show you
I'm just
after
like,
we're done. It's
why,
wild.
Why even,
Yeah, like why bother, right?
Yeah.
Like the pages.
Yeah. That one where it's just like stuck together or something.
Yeah, it's like one page from Spider-Man number 50, and it's like $75. It's like you paid $75 to get it graded. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is pretty bad. A 1.08 is pretty terrible. So maybe don't worry about it. Just get the facsimile version. And so the fair market value for this book runs about $4,000 to $6,000. So if you're paying any more than that, you're probably not getting a good deal. Whereas you can buy a raw copy for about $10,000 or more. But again, you're going to get duped. It's definitely the time, especially hot off the First Steps hype. So that would explain the pricing right about now. So try again in a couple of years, maybe. So what was your first exposure to this character?
Has to be Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, really? Yeah. That's not too surprising. I mean, I think that was a lot of people's first exposure because I feel like personally he wasn't really in mainstream aside the Fantastic Four cartoon that nobody really liked in the 90s. And even before that, he was kind of like strictly, he felt, I don't know for sure, but he felt like just a comic character.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me. I think that's maybe a majority of people.
I feel too, yeah.
Yeah. Because that's for me. It was kind of like, yeah, of course I have my trading cards and I know comics, but I don't remember him being that super out there.
I forget the discourse of the movie, like probably in its time, but I feel like no one, like that movie wasn't well received. The Rise of the Silver Surfer, but I liked it.
I liked it.
You know?
Yeah,
I thought it was a good fun movie.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting because I do remember enough discourse that because Doug Jones was playing him. People were like, "Oh, this is a compelling character," because Doug Jones was really on it at that time because he was in Hellboy as Abe, and then he was about to do or just had done. I think he was about to do that movie by Guillermo del Toro, the Pan's Labyrinth movie. So he was kind of like the hot ticket, and he was playing all these incredible characters. And so when Surfer came along, I think it kind of like, it gave him some notoriety. Doug Jones is portraying him. And so, but of course the first question that came after that was, who's Galactus? And that's where we were.
Oh, that's where it's like,
that's where it fell apart. Yeah,
he's
exactly.
a cloud?
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately that's kind of how it went. But we're going to chit chat about that shortly. As for the character itself, so we're going by Silver Surfer NORRIN RADD version for a lot of these references, but real name NORRIN RADD, height 6'4", weight 225, and his bio states: empowered with the power cosmic by the world-consuming Galactus, NORRIN RADD spared his own planet's destruction to become Galactus's herald, the spacefaring Silver Surfer. The Surfer rebelled against Galactus to save Earth and has since become a star-spanning hero. Pretty much both of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Very familiar for both of them, which of course we're going to get into. And so for Norrin's first appearance, funny enough, despite the context of the issue cover and it being the coming of Galactus, Surfer doesn't appear until about halfway through the issue because it was a continuation of a previous story that was involving the Inhumans, of all people, and their nemesis Maximus, aka Black Bolt's evil brother. But once this disturbance gets resolved, the Fantastic Four then get tossed right back into the thicket of it once the sky lights up with fire. And so Johnny decides to take a closer look, and there's no heat radiation. So it's kind of an illusion. And they're like, what is happening? And all the civilians are freaking out, and they immediately think, oh, it's fire. It must be you. What are you doing? And then they start throwing bricks at him. They start and it's like one of those things that, in the early days, this is still considered the early days of Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
People are still acclimating to the fact that they exist. And they're like, I don't know if I trust you. And it's the same thing with Spider-Man. Same thing with X-Men. They all went through it. And so it's then Reed takes to holing himself up in his lab for literal hours. Another prime moment where Sue was feeling her being ignored and neglected. And Reed isn't doing it without ample cause. And so it's really funny because the minute the minute they show Sue, she's like, Reed has been holed up in his lab. I'd like to go to dinner. Like, and Ben is just like, hey, Susie, can you chill? I'm trying to talk to Alicia on the phone. And it's like she's just getting plummeted by everybody. And so Sue is fired up. She's like, well, I've no intention of being completely ignored while he juggles those test tubes on for the rest of the night. And she's just really chaotic. And it's kind of heightening, like, why is he holding himself up? He's unshaven. Like, you know, he's he's in it. And no one knows why. And so another event happens in the sky at this time, and it's in the form of space debris instead of fire. And so it's then Sue insists on entering the lab, and she's like, tell me what you're doing in here. And she is greeted by none other than the Watcher himself.
Oh my gosh.
So imagine, if you will.
Well, that's crazy.
She pries this door open, thinking, oh, he's making some gizmo. And the freaking Watcher is standing there like, Susan Storm. And it's him and Reed, and he's building a contraption, but because the Watcher is telling him to, like, he has to do something. So immediately, what do we know about the Watcher? Does not interfere.
Yeah.
So for him to be there at all
is a huge deal.
Is gigantic. And so it's then and there we then get the narrative we've been waiting for. And Uatu warns them that the Silver Surfer is on his way, scouting for Galactus. So it was that big of an issue that the Watcher's like, oh, damn. I need to go tell these people this is going to be an event of events.
Yeah.
Which, again, not a tiny ordeal. This is a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Yeah. And so, as we know, Silver Surfer scouting for Galactus, and the Watcher basically stepped in to protect Earth from demise. So he also reveals to the Four that these manipulations in the sky are his doing. He's protecting Earth from being seen by the Surfer. So if the Surfer's above Earth and he's been clouded, like he can't see, he just sees like, oh, it's just some planet that has debris all over it and not Earthlings and resources, and he might just go by.
Yeah, fly on by.
Next. And find something else. Unfortunately, the Surfer persists, and he then begins to signal for Galactus. And so this is the moment that he basically comes through the debris, and he's like, oh, there's civilization. I sense the resources that are happening here. This would be perfect for Galactus. And they're freaking out. They're like, what does this mean? Who is Galactus? Why is he doing this stuff? And so, yeah, unfortunately, the Watcher isn't helping. He's like, he has landed. He's signaling Galactus. We have failed. And, you know, in true Ben form, failed nothing. Just let me at him. and there's clobbering time. There's all this. He does all this stuff. And so he summons Galactus. Okay. I wish Jeff's facial expressions made sounds. That was like a boing, boing, because he does not look like this in continuity.
He looks like a Mexican luchador.
He does. Yeah, so Galactus's first appearance.
Maybe I'm going to use that as my... I'll be like, look at this.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, the colorations, his original colorations were not purple and blue.
That looks so jarring.
Isn't that? And he has a giant G on his chest. So, yeah. We gotta Photoshop your face into this.
I'm gonna have to be him for Halloween, bro.
I'll be Namor, unshaven Namor, and then you'll be Galactus
with the G.
With the G, yeah.
That's hilarious.
So he steps in. He's in red, white, and green, guys. He's in red, white, and green.
Dude,
if you've not seen this,
that's a luchador.
That's crazy, right? Yeah, he's a little more ornate, a little different. And if you see the full body, Jeff.
Yeah.
He doesn't have leggings or pants. He's bare
legs?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Can't lie to you.
And so he comes into the panel and he says, my journey is ended. This planet shall sustain me until it has drained of all elemental life. So speaks Galactus. This is the cameo, for the record. This isn't the first appearance. This is the one that they don't consider the first
appearance of Galactus.
But he speaks to both. I don't know.
Well, do you know? So his first appearance then?
It's the next issue.
But is he still wearing that same color?
Yes. Funny enough, That's is.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's really funny. Oh, actually, it's a little different. So it went from this. And then they changed it to orange and red.
I'm talking about it.
Orange and red, purple and red.
That's
so
interesting.
isn't that wild? And it's just a colorist issue. Like, it happened in Spider-Man all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things. But I mean, I don't think people realize this is what he looked like.
I know.
Yeah.
That doesn't come up. I haven't seen that at all.
Yeah, no one ever says anything. So that's the end of the issue. And then Surfer's origin it's not even revisited until later because the focus turns on to Galactus.
Yeah.
So he's just whizzing around and Galactus is wreaking his havoc. And it's understandable. I mean, again, he came in, he did his job, and then it made it about the bigger baddie. In the next issue, however, Surfer fell into the care of Alicia Masters, Ben's girlfriend, who attempts to convince him Earth and its people are worth saving and that there's more to existence than hoarding energy for Galactus. So what had happened was, after Surfer signaled for Galactus to come, Ben did his "it's clobbering time" and knocked him off of the building, to which he fell. And he landed on Alicia Masters' roof.
Oh my gosh.
And so he comes into her window and he's all dazed and she's blind. So she doesn't know who he is. And immediately they become friends. At first he's reluctant. He's reluctant to hear her out. And he's focused on his mission. But by mid-issue, when things really start to go haywire, he realizes the errors of his ways and that it's possible for a Herald to defy Galactus. And thankfully, it buys the Fantastic Four enough time to establish their plan. So the Watcher then sends Johnny, of all people on the team, he sends Johnny to infinity and beyond.
Okay.
To
Toy Story?
I know, I was like, I think he's going to say something. And then he sends Johnny to retrieve a weapon called the Ultimate Nullifier. Have you heard about this Ultimate Nullifier?
No.
People were actually kind of surprised that they didn't bring it into First Steps. And it's this little tiny handheld mechanism. It looks like, it looks like an oiler or something.
Uh-huh.
And it has a little twisty neck on it. And so it is considered one of the most destructive weapons capable of erasing anything and everything from existence, including entire timelines, universes, and galaxies.
Okay.
And all somebody has to do is go boop and press the little button and it's all done.
What the?
So
Who's creating these things, man?
Exactly. And so the Watcher sends Johnny to go fetch this item and then brings it back, to which Reed uses it against Galactus, at least threateningly, and he scares him into submission. And just as immediately, he dismisses the Surfer as his herald and leaves Earth to consume another planet. So Surfer basically stood up to Galactus in this moment and helped the Fantastic Four defeat him, basically.
Uh-huh.
And so, as a result, Galactus is then like, "You're no longer my herald," and he doesn't necessarily remove the power from him, but he takes away the ability for him to surf the cosmos. He's restricted only to Earth. So he's no longer a galactic Silver Surfer. He's like an Earth Surfer. So he can only stay on Earth, which is really kind of unfortunate for him. And so that's all thanks to Alicia. And that the Surfer actually sees more to existence. And he then began exploring Earth because he couldn't do anything else. But speaking about his origin, it would be 2 more years until readers got insight into the Surfer's origin story. And so by that time in comic book canon, the Surfer is still acclimating to Earth. So he's known to the inhabitants of the planet, but he's still discovering other corners and secret treasures that people have never explored. And he's just taking his time with it. And he finds himself curious about the human race and how we seem to squander our resources while other planets and alien races have nothing in comparison. So he's learning as he's going about. And that's something that they kind of covered in Rise of the Silver Surfer, is that he's just kind of cruising through the forest and through life and just kind of seeing what does Earth have to offer, and what made it so rich in resources that Galactus wanted to eat it.
Yeah.
Right? And so this sort of contemplation then leaves him to think and recollect about Zenn-La and how he was in his youth. Because Zenn-La, as they depict all these alien planets, it was perfect. It reached perfection, and it had essentially been obtained by their kind. And so he was bored. He found he found their existence shallow and empty because everything was handed to them from generations before. So they never got to see battle. They never got to feel like stress and anxiety. They were just like, well, we have a perfect planet. And so Norrin has this issue back on Zenla before he became the surfer. And so he uses a mental transportation element machine at this. He goes to this museum called the Museum of Antiquity, and he wanted to observe the past and see, quote unquote, learn why the present was so totally unendurable. In his own words, he is so not into the present tense that he's like, I need to go backwards. I need to see.
My goodness.
Yeah, I need to see what history was like. This is boring. It's not entertaining. And so instantly you kind of see the parallel of, he wants to learn. He's a man of intelligence that wants to keep learning.
Yeah.
He's almost insatiable about it. And in the end, they simply met their goals and they had nothing left to accomplish. That's what he realizes that his people were capable of. And it left them stagnant and entitled. So it was, again, a perfect planet. All those memories then brings Norrin to remember SHALLA-BAL. And so you have to remember, in the comics, SHALLA-BAL and Norrin were very much in the same timeline.
Yeah.
They were even together. They were in a relationship. And her first appearance actually happens in Silver Surfer #1, which we'll talk about in a bit, but this is them together.
Oh, wow.
And Norrin's given some Professor Xavier vibes. Just bald-headed cue ball.
That's pretty close.
And SHALLA-BAL is a dark-haired, blue-eyed beauty. And in the middle of their conversation, there's the citizen's alarm, and it rings for the first time in a millennium. The men of the planet are called to arms due to this alien spacecraft entering the atmosphere. But the planet had been without violence for so long, they are not prepared. So they don't even have weapons anymore. Like, they've just been at peace for millennia.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, we don't need it. Now they're like, oh, we're going to die. And so Norrin then takes to the destroyed landscape. So all this debris is coming as this gigantic sphere of a spaceship is coming through the atmosphere, and everyone's freaking out, like quite literally freaking out. There's chaos in the streets. Norrin then looks to see if he can find weapons or anybody that's willing to stand up to this thing. Cannot find a soul.
Okay.
But he ends up rescuing a scientist who then helps him get and navigate a spacecraft. So he's like, if no one's going to do this, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to fly up to this spacecraft and see what the deal is. And it's like, dang, you're that bored? And so it's there that Norrin finally encounters Galactus, who seeks to consume Zenla for all of its worth. And Norrin spares no time attempting to barter with the Devourer, saying that other planets could be taken. And so here's this page that I wanted to show you. A lot of primary colors, basically. There's a lot of primary colors going on here. And so this is Norrin trying to debate with him and barter with him. And so it comes down to exactly what we all know. Galactus says he has no time to look for another planet. It's either this planet or he's going to starve to death. If only he had a herald to do the work for him, then he would find another planet. And so Norrin is then like, fine, take me. I'll be your herald. Just spare the planet. And then he does so, and he says, think, NORRIN, consider well what you have offered. He who assumes the mantle of the Herald of Galactus so shall so do forevermore. And he transforms him, and he accepts it, and bada bing, bada boom, he is reborn and made into the Silver Surfer.
Huh.
Yeah.
So the Silver Surfer's looks pretty much been the same.
Thus, did not change a darn thing, and they never have. They literally, this is one character they've never touched. And he's exactly as you know him.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes he's got the baby briefs on.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So in the films, obviously, he's like straight up like
it's like metallic, straight up chrome metallic person.
Nude metallic person, but not in a sexual way, of course. But in the comics, they did have him wearing like briefs for a minute. And depending on the artist, sometimes they wouldn't be there. It would just be like we've seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is he hitting the dab right there? That's crazy.
He's like, dab. And so he rises as the Herald from that moment. And so again, worth noting, we'll be covering SHALLA-BAL a bit further in the episode when these two characters' paths fully collide. So just hang tight. As for live action, NORRIN RADD, the Silver Surfer, portrayed by Doug Jones. First and last seen in 2007's Fantastic Four, The Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so though newer fans may be more familiar with SHALLA-BAL's Silver Surfer, who appeared in 2025's Fantastic Four First Steps, portrayed by Julia Garner, these two do hail from two different Earths. So, NORRIN RADD, Earth 121698, which is a designation for the Foxverse. Did they Fox? Is it Fox?
I
know. I was like, wait a minute. Whatever
probably
studio that was.
no. Wait, yes, it's 20th century, I think. Yes.
Huh.
Or, dude, I don't know.
I know. Like
Everything was spread out.
Yeah, it was so crazy back then. It was indeed 20th Century Studios, because they took the Fox out. Searchlight Pictures, and so
Fox Searchlight, yes.
Fox Searchlight, yeah, and so 121698, whereas SHALLA-BAL hails from Earth 828 as an homage to Jack Kirby and his birthday. So same story, different landscapes. That's all I put down here for live action. They are quite similar as they are different because they are different characters and different movies, but it is pretty much there.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And he's very much the Herald, and so is she. And so yeah, I mean, do you have a favorite? Is it fair to even ask?
I mean, I like both men and women, so
yeah. I mean, I kind of like them
I mean,
both.
obviously recency bias because
Yeah.
Julia Garner kills it.
She killed it. She had a great.
I mean, her
2025.
monologue,
Yeah.
memorable.
TikTok famous.
Yeah, it's like
I herald.
I herald your planet.
I herald.
Galactus.
Yeah. Incredible. Have you seen what she said about that?
Oh yeah, she said
Filming.
that was her first day of shooting,
That's crazy.
and she didn't know like what it was gonna be. Like, she
Yeah,
didn't know
because
it was
she's like in a green screen suit.
yeah,
on a
yeah.
surfer
She's like, yeah, I'm
award.
just expressing
That's
this
crazy.
lines and
Yeah. It's wild. Yeah. I liked her a hell of a lot more than I thought I was going to. Not that I felt like she was going to do badly. I was just kind of worried how they would introduce someone like SHALLA-BAL that we do not, as a comic book society, like especially my generation onward, like unless you're a comic book nerd and you've read all those issues, you don't know who she is.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of like, oh no, if they fumble this, like female characters are cooked.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but it's like almost the same
Yeah.
background,
Oh, she did
right?
great.
Like
Yeah.
like the Silver Surfer, like both are like kind of the same background.
Yeah.
Of like they were
Chosen.
used as they were chosen as the Herald.
Yeah, because they were saving their planet.
Yeah.
Different reasons, sort of. SHALLA-BAL had her daughter that
Yeah.
she was thinking of, and of course her people, and it says a lot about their character as individuals.
Yeah.
And Norrin, same thing. He did it for SHALLA-BAL in his Earth, So it's kind of funny that they would use her as kind of like the honoring contribution to the new film.
Yeah.
Which I think was great, especially if they knew going in, this is going to be a different Earth. We're going to introduce a 616 eventually, but for 828, why not?
Yeah.
And I love that because that does leave room for a 616 Silver Surfer.
Because we don't know where the Silver Surfer is. We don't know where SHALLA-BAL is.
We don't know where SHALLA-BAL is, yeah. And so I still don't see anybody that's come up with a precise answer, but I mean, in the comics.
Because she knocked. Oh, okay, in the comics.
Yeah, I was going to say in the comics that the Fantastic Four have pushed Galactus into the negative zone before. So maybe he's in the negative zone, but
But then she gave like that last push, right?
But she did it, yeah. So it's
So-
who knows where they
like,
ended
is she
up.
stuck with him?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I say it's very possible. But we're going to keep talking about them in comparison as we go down here, even to the very fact of their appearance. And so in aesthetic, you can see here, there is a cover of Earth X where they are together. And so we're going to talk about this series a little bit more down the line, but this is one of the rare... It's not even rare. This is probably the only cover of them together as Silver Surfers, because this is an alternate universe. So this is the universe that SHALLA-BAL Silver Surfer came from. And so we're going to talk about it later, but for comparison's sake, I wanted you to see what she looked like as a surfer in the comics, because It's like you said, they're just silvery people, head to toe. And both of them were great. I mean, even for 2005, I mean, Doug Jones looked awesome.
Yeah.
He looked really freaking cool. Actually kind of scary in a way. And then Julia Garner, very cute and petite, but also foreboding because that stare was ice cold, let me tell you. As for the animation for both surfers, animators at Weta, FX, and Spectral Motion took care of NORRIN RADD, Silver Surfer, back in 2007. I was thinking of the first film in 2005. But ILM, Framestore, Sony Pictures Imageworks, Digital Domain, Rise, and Weta all took care of SHALLA-BAL in first steps. So we've come a long way, as much as, it obviously takes an army to pull off something of that caliber. And what I do love about Marvel, or at least MCU Twitter, is that more people are unfortunately finding late respect for the film.
Yeah.
So more people are coming through like, oh, it was so good. It was like, yeah, where were you guys in July?
It was.
Yeah. But huh?
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah. And what I love is that there will be gifs of Surfer surfing, right? Like when she's pursuing them.
The chase scene, yeah.
The chase scene, and people saying this is what movies were made for cinema. like that is the embodiment.
No. Yeah, that
it's
space
incredible.
chase scene is
it's
crazy.
Incredible. And again, like I watched it here and I was like, holy
Mazzers.
Yeah, it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
So they nailed it with that one. So that brings us to powers and paraphernalia.
All right, let's hear it. What do we got?
You're going to have a field day with this one, bro. So Surfer registers on threat levels comparable to that of Beta Ray Bill. Do you know who Beta Ray Bill is?
I feel like we've rung his name up once
He's
or
the
twice.
guy with the horse head.
Okay.
And he was in Ragnarok on the building.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He was the one that everyone was like, is Christian Bale going to be Beta Ray Bill? Beta Ray Bill. Everybody thought Christian Bale was going to be him. Everybody. And then he ended up being
Gore.
The Butcher.
Gore.
Yeah. And so, he had a little Easter egg in Ragnarok. Love and Thunder?
Yes.
Yeah, Love and Thunder. But Beta Ray Bill, he's basically an Asgardian, like, horseman.
Got it.
And so Surfer has this power level that registers on the same level as him. Calark, who is the gladiator. Mm-hmm. You might be familiar with him. He's got a mohawk. He's purple. He wears red.
Okay.
Ronan, the accuser. All
right.
And Quasar, to various galactic protective foes like the Norval Corps. So he is a threat. He's a high-level threat. In short, high-level threat to all of these neighboring planets. And if he comes into the atmosphere, you got to run, or you got to wonder why is he coming, because it's either Galactus or something really terrible is about to happen. And so various beings possess power cosmic like the Surfer, and his prowess includes what you can expect. Here we go, Jeff. Superhuman strength, speed, agility, reflexes, and stamina, as well as immortality, which comes with self-sustenance, invulnerability, and regeneration. Surfer is also capable of healing himself and possesses cosmic awareness, much like our friend Thanos. So if something is happening in the space ether, he can detect it.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, oh, someone needs my help. And then he goes.
Okay.
Which comes with its own suite of subdivision powers like superhuman senses, vision, hearing, as well as time perception. Surfer is also capable of flight and teleportation, size manipulation, intangibility, soul manipulation, which allows him to enter the astral plane. Gravity and matter manipulation, element manipulation, telekinesis, telepathy, and smaller, more granular powers that depend on the situation.
Like, what's the...
He's just
like, what's the point? Like, what's...
Well, the point...
Guys, I don't get it.
Well, the point is that with great power comes great responsibility.
Civilians don't exist in the comic. They don't exist.
They do, and we're
because there's no point. If every superhero has the same minimum 5 powers,
and he's like insane because he's got this metallic substance on him on top of it.
What are we doing, man?
And this was the 60s. They thought of this in the 60s. And so on the live action side, there are obviously many similarities, just trimmed and pared down. Where NORRIN RADD in particular, he can possess matter, and he has matter and energy conversion, flight, superhuman reflexes, long-range communication, phasing, and self-sustainability. So they just went, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
He's got these things, and that's it. Whereas SHALLA-BAL, on the other hand, possesses cosmic powers, including gravitational flight, self-sustenance, omnilingual, intangibility.
Omni?
So she can speak any language.
God damn.
Yes. Intangibility, superhuman speed and durability, and concussive blasts, which we saw in the space chase scene, for instance. She can do this thing. And so they've both kind of, in live action, shown us the capabilities of the Surfer combined from the comics.
Yeah.
And although we haven't spoken much about paraphernalia with the characters lately, Surfer wouldn't be a Surfer without their surfboard, which contains its own fair share of notable attributes.
Yeah.
So on top of all that,
what is this, like what is it, the cloak of levitation?
Yes, it's exactly right. And so the board was created by Galactus of the same cosmic matter as the Surfer itself. So the board is forged of this thing that they call galactic glaze. No comments?
That's insane.
I was like, I think he's going to react.
Galactic glaze?
Galactic glaze. And so the Surfer can control the board at will. And although the Surfer can fly on their own accord, so he doesn't need it.
That's a missed opportunity to do a collaboration with Krispy Kreme.
I know. Galactic glaze, right? Like, it could have been like shimmery silver. Oh, it would have been amazing.
Come on.
Would have been amazing.
Come on.
It's right there. And so, although the Surfer can fly on their own, they use the board because they don't have to think about it. It's one less thing to think about.
Got it.
Because the board it's like the cloak. It acts on impact. Like, he doesn't even have to think about it. They just intuitively are connected. And so its speed is as formidable as its matter, and it's able to trap and even destroy living matter within itself, and can attain 99.99% the speed of light in regular space, as well as exceed light speed within hyperspace, which is perfectly depicted in First Steps. So all that stuff on there, that's hyperspace, that's the speed of light happening on screen. It's absolutely incredible.
Insane.
Yep. So for family, friends, and affiliations, I pared it down very, 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 very short because although NORRIN RADD's family tree is pretty fleshed out, few are as pertinent as the characters we're going to be discussing along the line. And SHALLA-BAL's family tree barely even exists. So we're not going to talk about any of them, and none of them are in the films. We don't have to. But beyond that, NORRIN does have some notable affiliations, beginning with the Annihilators. Did they call a group in the MCU the Annihilators?
I don't know, but that sounds very familiar.
Oh, you know what? I guess I'm thinking of Captain Marvel, because they called Captain Marvel the Annihilator.
Fair.
In Marvels. But yeah, it's a pretty foreboding name. And so similarly to the Alpha Threats we just mentioned in his powers, Surfer was on a team alongside Ronan the Accuser, Gladiator, Beta Ray Bill, Quasar, and a character named Icon with a K. And so that team itself was formed by, of all characters, Cosmo, the space dog.
Wow.
I have a screenshot of it because I just thought it was so precious. And so essentially what was happening is that there was a gigantic battle, and Peter Quill and Rocket are there. The Guardians of the Galaxy are there, and Peter sends Cosmo to go fetch this group of powerful beings to come help them because they needed it very badly.
Yeah.
And so Peter quite literally holds Cosmo's little face and is like, okay, boy, because he's a boy in the comics. He's like, okay, boy, I need you to go get these people. You're going to put them in a team, and they're going to be amazing. Because you know what we need right now? We need Annihilators. And then Cosmo's like, yes, of course, comrade. I will go get the Annihilators. Because remember, he's a boy. And so this is the team.
That's hilarious.
In the comics. This is the crazy team. And so they have this incredible team forged of the characters I just mentioned, as well as Silver Surfer. And so there's a whole series of comics you can read about that. And then there was another team that comes to mind that many people are familiar with that Silver Surfer was on very briefly, a very different version of the team, and that would be the Defenders.
Ah.
And so originally, people, when you say Defenders, people are like, oh, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Daredevil. No. Originally, the Defenders were comprised of Doctor Strange, the Hulk, Namor, and Silver Surfer. And so he was part of that original team back in 1971, 1972. And he wasn't part of the original trio, but they successfully kind of imported him into the group by the second issue. So he was in the Defenders for a minute. And then, of course, last but not least, he was of the Heralds of Galactus. And so although they're not necessarily a group...
Isn't that just 2 people?
Yeah, pretty much. No, there's a lot. There's actually there's a lot. It's been a lot of people, funny enough. And so although they're not necessarily a group, they are a known roster. And they're, as we know them to be, servants of Galactus who search the cosmos for viable planets for him to devour.
Damn, Galactus got a roster, bro.
Dude, it's so wild too.
I gotta
how
talk about that. That could be like a little social media.
Oh my gosh. If you I will provide you the list, and if you just go down the list and just comment on it, that'd be hilarious.
Oh yeah, that could be like a thing.
Oh yeah, because we're about
I'll be like, Galactus has a roster?
Yeah, because each herald has obviously bestowed a small amount of Galactus's power. But some of them even keep it past their time served. So Silver Surfer is a good example because he took away the heraldness, but Silver Surfer is still Silver Surfer. You know what I mean? And he wasn't that before. He was NORRIN RADD before. And so that brings us to... There's no comparison in the MCU for any of these groups, obviously, because he hasn't intersected with any of them aside Fantastic Four. But, I doubt we'll see any of that in live action, not in our lifetime. But I do have a pop quiz for you.
Oh, no.
Speaking of roster.
Oh, no.
It is multiple.
Speaking of rosters, is crazy.
I was like, dude, this is too good. I can't pass it up. So, pop quiz.
Oh, no.
Of the following.
Ugh.
Who has not been a Herald of Galactus?
Can we define? Okay, you said have we defined Herald? Like, are these heralds like finding planets for him?
Yes.
They're
not. They don't turn into Silver Surfer, but they become that
his
role.
servant, essentially.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like Galactus is tasking these people to find him planets. Yep. Is it always only one person at a time? Okay.
Yep. Only needs one.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, because they have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Time travel.
Yeah.
So, who is not of these 4?
Okay.
Is it Deadpool?
Wow.
Warlock?
Okay.
Doctor Strange? Or Thor?
Ooh. Wow. All 4 of them? Or 3 of them have been?
3 of them have been.
Now that's...
Yeah.
Who's the third choice?
Doctor Strange.
I feel like Doctor Strange is way too smart to not take that deal.
Yeah.
Because for Deadpool, it's like, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, Big G, whatever you say.
Sure.
My heart says Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Or my gut says Doctor Strange.
All right, final answer.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for you, he was very much a herald once upon a time. And this is actually in pretty recent continuity where he became the servant. And so he did it for, it's always temporary. And it's because they have to make a decision or aid the galaxy in some way. But he was, unfortunately, one of the heralds, as was Deadpool.
Like I said, it's hilarious.
And he does. I hunger. Go forth and warn of my coming. Oh yeah, let's go get you some dinner.
See, exactly. Like that's exactly how I would expect.
And you can see no change in Deadpool.
Yeah,
he's exactly the same character.
You can't change him.
You can't change him. He is not a changed man. And then the third confirmed herald of Galactus is none other than the god of thunder, Thor himself.
Oh, whoa. That does not look... Whoa.
Also, the hair is exaggerated, obviously.
Yeah.
But it did happen pretty recently in comic continuity as well for a temporary
so
amount
Adam
of time.
Warlock.
Yeah. Adam Warlock has not.
Okay.
Yeah, strangely enough, of all characters,
That
and
is
he's
crazy.
galactic. Maybe it's too easy, and they're just like, let's toss it up.
Or
But
too powerful. I don't know.
I wanted to toss in one fun fact because even though Adam Warlock hasn't, guess who has? Superman.
What?
There's a whole line of crossover comics. They're actually, Marvel is releasing a crossover like series right now.
Seen that, yeah.
Yeah. But this is way back in the 90s, I believe.
Superman?
And Superman was the Herald of Galactus for
Wow.
a moment in a Fantastic Four crossover.
That just sounds unfair.
Is that wild?
That sounds unfair.
Oh, that's scary. That's also just scary. And we're never going to see it. Like, you know, it's definitely one of those things we're never going to see.
Like on screen?
On screen, yeah. No,
oh.
never going to.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, no,
You're
it's
gonna
crazy.
limit Superman to being a herald?
Yeah.
He's literally the strongest being in the whole world.
Yeah, it's some wild stuff, dude. The 90s were wild.
They really said, screw it. Let's get crazy.
Oh, yeah. And so that's why I was so surprised to see that they were doing a new crossover series. And I think it's like Deadpool and Batman. And
Yeah, it's a bunch of
Yeah, it's a
stuff.
bunch of stuff. I'm very, very surprised. But I haven't had a chance to read any of it yet. But it's definitely interesting. So yeah, Superman was one of the heralds.
Wow.
So that brings us to love interests. And so it is very interesting because NORRIN RADD, in particular, as a character, he's just like we know him on screen. He's very sterile and very serious. Not much... I wouldn't say, not that he doesn't have a personality, but doesn't have a personality. So it's not like he's a romantic type. He's very linear and he just knows what he knows. And he's an intellect and that's sort of like his thing is that he exists. That's all he is. But he does have two known romantic interests in the comics. One of which is obviously SHALLA-BAL, but we'll talk about her second. The first, however, so back in 2014, Dawn Greenwood was introduced in an all-new Silver Surfer title led by Dan Slott and the legendary husband-wife team, Michael and Laura Allred. And so if you're familiar at all with Doctor Who,
Okay.
their adventures, Dawn and Norrin's adventures, are pretty much similar to the series where it's the Doctor and their companion. And so it also is worth noting that Dan Slott is a huge Doctor Who fan.
Yeah.
Makes total sense that he would write something like it. In that storyline, time has essentially hit an infinite loop due to a time-traveling error. And so this young woman named Dawn was at the epicenter of it all, and she was dubbed the most important person of the universe throughout the run of its title and beyond it. And so she was just a regular human being who joined the Surfer as his companion, naming his board to me. Like, they were so close. Like, she was quite literally just a regular human being. And she went off with him on his adventures. And it was kind of interesting because it went from this very serious toned character to a little timey-wimey, like, are you familiar with New Girl?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
She's like Jessica Day meets Darcy. Like, she's that kind of character where she's kind of like pulling his leg a bit and saying like, oh, it's a good thing your name isn't Harry. And he's like, I do not understand. Why not? And she's like, because you're bald. You know, like she would say stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so, like many tropes, it started with Dawn being used as leverage against the Surfer, even though at the time they didn't even know the impact that they'd have on one another. One of his enemies was like, oh, she's going to be important to him. I need to take her and abduct her so that he comes out and I'm going to fight him, etc., etc. And so they had such an impact on one another through their adventures that Dawn herself even almost became a Herald of Galactus, but Surfer saved her. And so one decision led to another. It created galaxies and alternate futures. So essentially what had happened is they kind of started their own butterfly effect. And so as they were time traveling, okay, let me wind it back a bit. So Dawn is a regular human being. And while she was traveling with the Surfer, time moves different in space.
Yeah.
So she missed things of her own family. Her sister got pregnant and had a baby. She didn't get to be there when the niece was born.
Okay.
Her dad passed away and she never got to say goodbye. And so she looked to the Surfer to hopefully time travel back in time enough that she could go and be by his side as he was dying. So reluctantly, Norrin agrees. And so as they're time traveling, he loses sight of the travel.
Okay.
That he overshoots.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it left the duo stranded in a time before the Big Bang, before Galactus is even born. So it's essentially the new universe hasn't even been born yet. The universe that we know now does not exist, and they get stuck in this past tense time. And so nevertheless, they made the most of it, and they continued their adventures through time in that space over decades, eventually marrying. And as time passed, Dawn aged, and Norrin used his powers to age with her until her death. So here's a cover of one of the final issues of that run, and it shows an aging
Oh my gosh.
NORRIN RADD. So he
Whoa.
was not aging at all. Obviously, he's immortal.
Yeah.
But to make her feel better, he did it like traditionally.
Aw.
Oh my God. If you want to cry, read this story, because I definitely did. And so it's funny because even on her deathbed, she says, can you quit it? And he's like, what do you mean, my dear? And she's like, silver off. She called it silver off.
Wow.
And so he would take the silver away and just be his regular self. And so Norrin loved Dawn so much that he took her remains after she passed and brought them with him through the Big Bang, firing Dawn's remains through a bolt of energy. And it was at the exact moment that the start of new creation happened, and she would become the first light of the new universe, the first dawn of time.
Wow.
I was like,
Wow.
the way that Dan Slott and Michael Allred wrote it is so incredible. And so here's this last panel. I was like, dude, I forgot about this because I read this when it came out, and so I reread it, and I was like, dude, I'm sobbing. And so this is the last panel where after he's done, he's telling the story to people, to it's a complicated thing. He's telling the story to somebody else. And he says, it's been that way since the beginning, since the dawn of time. And as long as the suns rise, she will never be forgotten. Now, if you excuse me, my work is done. I should go. And so he pays tribute to her every time the sun rises on any planet, in any galaxy. She's still around. And it's like, wow, the Surfer's deep.
That is crazy.
He's so deep. And it's like, it's incredible because that's the thing that they've kept very consistent with this character. Like, he's gained a little more personality in the comics here and there, especially in that title. But he's definitely a poetic, almost Shakespearean kind of character. Which I think Doug Jones did very well.
Yes. I agree with.
Yeah. And so unfortunately, we have not seen Don Greenwood. I don't think Surfer's ever going to have that much emphasis on the MCU that he's ever going to get this storyline. Like, it would be an amazing series.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
But the comics do exist, so you can go enjoy those. Now, his second and most prominent love interest is none other than SHALLA-BAL, who, again, we've been talking about throughout this entire episode thus far. But this is going to be the opportunity where we can talk a little bit more about her and her origin and all that good stuff. So SHALLA-BAL herself was created by Stan Lee and John Buscema. And so Jack King Kirby had the initial Surfer creation to his name, but Stan came through a little later with SHALLA-BAL. And so she was first introduced in the pages of Silver Surfer #1, as I mentioned. And so it was 1968, just a couple of years later after Silver Surfer himself was introduced. And so this is the cover of the issue that SHALLA-BAL was introduced in. And it's just Silver Surfer, big premiere issue, the origin of the Silver Surfer, an all-new book-length Marvel epic. And they call him the Sentinel on the Space Waves.
Okay.
It's great. They loved alliteration back in the day, man. And so first appearance... the issue title, The Origin of the Silver Surfer, highest graded, short boxed, CGC 9.6, $21,000. Worth more than the first appearance in a lot of ways.
That is crazy.
eBay, CGC 9.6, $18,000. Lowest graded short box, CGC 1.5, still clocking in at $380, while on eBay, CGC 3.5, about $425. And the same thing for fair market value in raw. It's about $4 to $6K and $10K if you're getting it just straight up.
All right.
Yeah, it's still worth a pretty penny. I know. And again, this one's duo because it's not Silver Surfer's first appearance, but it's his first issue and her first appearance. So when it comes to these two, it goes back to their childhood. Norrin was basically dismissive of her when they first met because they were like, I don't know, 8 years old or something. And so Norrin, again, I mentioned that we weren't talking about his family, but we're going to mention them a little bit here because he was mourning the loss of his mother, Elmar, who died by suicide.
Oh, man.
Yeah, pretty rough. And so again, very interesting given that the planet, that Zen law was like perfection, right? So essentially it came down to the fact that his mother felt that she did not measure up to society. So she offed herself, unfortunately. And his father, Jartan, raised Norrin by himself in such a manner that cultivated this colder intellectual type that he grew into. His father, by the way, also, trigger warning, died by suicide.
Oh my gosh.
For similar reasons.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's pretty dark. I know, I didn't really want to go there. I was like,
Oh my
"Ooh."
God.
Yeah, it's really bad. However, Norrin fell for Shalla-BAL as they began to grow. And so he fell hard. And despite the connection that they forged growing up, it still came with its difficulties. Because he was kind of like how Reed is to Sue, where he was so focused on his work, so focused on learning and educating himself further that he would quite literally push her away. And she would just be like, Norrin, I would love to spend some time with you. And he's like, I'm too busy. I have work to do. It's just like, God. So unfortunately, there are some parallels there. And as previously mentioned, Shalla-BAL and Norrin lived happily on Zenla before Galactus' arrival and his transformation of the Surfer, which led to Norrin abandoning her due to his duties. But the truth of the matter is, Shalla-BAL did not become a Surfer herself in Earth 616. But she did in Earth 9997, which is where the designated events that the events that happened in the Earth X title occurred. And so that all happened in Earth X. And so that was a different Earth completely, where she became the twin Silver Surfer along with him. And so again, it was that beautiful cover by Alex Ross where they were both concurrently surfers.
Yeah.
For
hot.
It's amazing, yeah. For context on this comic, I mean, it's one of those that you got to read yourself. Everything is topsy freaking turvy. Like Captain America is this really war torn. It's decades in the future.
Yeah,
they're all old. So even Peter Parker is like obese, and he looks like Uncle Ben. But he's still kind of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Mayday is there, and she's the spider person now, and she's got a symbiote, like futuristic. But the plot twist is, it is the most dystopian, abysmal version of all that you know about the Marvel Universe possible. And so that's the universe that they both become the Surfer. And it expanded into 3 titles: Earth X, Universe X, and Paradise X. And so in this particular storyline, Marvel itself described it as, Marvel history unfolds through the intelligent design of the Celestials. Our saga begins in a world where everyone has superpowers. See, Jeff? No humans. Imagine everybody had superpowers.
I'd rather have that.
And so Reed Richards sets out to cure a calamity he fears he may have caused. And so that's the premise of the story. And it's so dark and crazy. And so it gets better, if you can believe it. As for Shalla-BAL and NORRIN RADD, the story is quite simple. That when Galactus came to Zenla to devour the planet, as I just mentioned earlier, Norrin sacrificed himself, became the Herald, and then later Galactus allows Norrin to reunite with Shalla-BAL, making them twin heralds for him. So he's basically like, no, I do love you. And she's like, but take me with you. Because that's what she says throughout every show. Take me with you. I want to go with you.
Of course.
He takes her with him, and then she becomes a herald. So then they're...
Oh my gosh. Now they're both heralds.
Now they're both hot surfing heralds. So they do it together. And so...
What?
And so little did they know, however, that Galactus's goal on this Earth X universe was not to consume their planet, but consume the Celestial that was growing inside of it.
Now that's a story.
There's a twist. I was like,
a story.
oh my God, it's so dense. But it's so beautiful. it's one of those titles where you just go, this is crazy, but it's so good because it's so different.
Yeah.
And so there is a celestial in every single planet, and that's why he came to Zenla. Not because of the resources, because he wanted to crack that baby open and eat the celestial inside, which is like, oh my gosh. So there is this ongoing war between Galactus and the Celestials. Period.
That'd be a sight to see
So
live action.
cool. Oh, it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Especially now. And that's what I noticed on Twitter too, is that people are going, Eternals was so underrated. Like, oh, now.
Don't get me started.
Okay.
Don't get me started. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about
so
it.
mad.
I don't want to talk about it.
I was like, whatever, y'all. But it then leads, all of this calamity then leads to them battling the Celestials on Earth. So the Twin Heralds, Galactus versus the Celestials, all of them. And so SHALLA-BAL is killed in battle, and then NORRIN sacrifices himself not long after, transferring his power to Mar-Vell. So they are all battling and stuff. But the biggest plot twist of them all, this is not Galen of Ta as Galactus. This Galactus, Jeff, if you can believe it. So here's our boy.
Yes, the one we all know and love.
And
Sometimes.
remember, Reed Richards is the one like, oh my God, I caused all this. Franklin Richards is Galactus in this universe.
Whoa.
But he doesn't remember that he's Franklin Richards.
He's just a devourer of worlds. Whoa. See, this Franklin guy, man. Franklin guy.
He's scary. He's scary, dude. I don't know if we're ready for it.
Oh my god.
Especially if they really follow through with anything. I'm like,
yeah.
ooh, I'm scared. But yeah, so it's Earth X is something else, let me tell you. But Surfer's got some good stories. I just gotta say, both of them do. And so SHALLA-BAL in live action, portrayed by Julia Garner, again, first and last seen in 2025's Fantastic Four: First Steps, directed by Matt Shakman. Obviously, no crossover in the MCU, but who's to say that SHALLA-BAL and NORRIN RADD's paths won't cross at some point? Like, they could. She's not dead. And they haven't introduced him properly. Hell, we might even get Doug Jones back. Like, who knows? But they have not introduced a Prime Earth Silver Surfer yet in the MCU. And, of course, when it comes to SHALLA-BAL's story in the MCU, again, same story, different surfer. Galactus came to her home planet. SHALLA-BAL sacrificed herself. She became the Herald. There's nothing more to say about it. But she did also have a daughter on Zenla, so we don't know anything about her. No name, nothing. Faint unknown. She's probably still alive. But I did want to mention, to your point earlier, Jeff, that we discussed in our Human Torch episode that these two have, like, a unique link.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like,
a little love connection. I don't know.
Yeah. And, I saw, speaking of Twitter again, I saw a great tweet where, again, people are revisiting it and being like, God, First Steps is so good. And someone said, thank the MCU for introducing a Johnny that wasn't just Sue's dumb brother. And I was like, there it is. And yeah, and that's a lot too, attributed to his connection with SHALLA-BAL, and how they kind of learned from each other and educated from each other. I mean, speaking of a theme with the surfers, yeah, they're all about learning and education, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
And at the end, like you mentioned, she popped Galactus over into another dimension. We don't know where they are anymore. But they left Earth 828 as far as we understand. And we don't know when and where we'll see them in the MCU.
Doomsday.
I guess, right? Like, maybe?
Something.
Which, for the record, I wanted to show you this screenshot. I'm glad you reminded me, because the first page in the first appearance of Galactus, if this be Doomsday, isn't that wild?
I mean, they're pulling from a bunch of different stuff.
I mean,
come on.
If this be Doomsday.
If this be Doomsday. And then it's the picture of them talking and he has no pants.
Sure.
Yeah, it's wild. The comics are crazy.
It's hilarious.
But curiously enough, NORRIN does note in Rise of the Silver Surfer that he had become Herald to protect his home planet, and the woman he loved And he compared Jessica Alba Sue Storm.
Wow.
You remind me of her. Remember,
Wow.
he was like,
Yeah.
you remind me of her.
Yeah.
Whether or not that was SHALLA-BAL or some other love interest is unknown, but it was probably SHALLA-BAL. So for notable adversaries, Surfer has had some interesting adversaries in the comics, but in modern fashion, we're just going to focus on those we see in live action more than anything. But honorable mentions to Super Skrull. I feel like we're going to see Super Skrull one day. We've seen the Skrulls, but not Super Skrull. Ronan, the Accuser, Doctor Doom, Morg, Terrax, and of course, Thanos. And then that brings us to Victor Von Doom, aka Doctor Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're not going to go too deep in the weeds here because we haven't even talked about Doom yet.
Yeah.
But the Surfer stumbled upon him during his Earth-world traveling, and not only did he befriend Doom, but he was inevitably betrayed by him because Doom did what he did in the movie, where he stole the board and tried to pull its resources and power for himself. He did the same thing. So it's not far from the comic books, funny enough. Whereas, of course, Victor Von Doom, portrayed by Julian McMahon in live action. And yeah, they kind of pulled that from the comics. Maybe not exactly the circumstance, but again, Doom can't be trusted. What else is new? And then there is Mephisto, who we previously discussed in his own episode, and he had a strange obsession with NORRIN RADD back in the day, and at the root of it, Mephisto was drawn to the energies registered on Earth, while the Surfer was in its atmosphere. Mephisto wanted to seek it out, make it his own, and of course, he used SHALLA-BAL as a bargaining chip. And if you want to hear more about that, just tune into that episode 118, and there's no crossover in the MCU, and I don't think that's one that they're gonna do. I'm so intrigued with what they might do with Mephisto, if anything, because the playing field is so
I know.
vast.
How are you gonna?
How do you put any of those people against the devil?
Yeah.
Period. So whether or not he'll have some crossover with Silver Surfer, don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen, personally speaking. Then, of course, there's the Fantastic Four, but as we mentioned, notably for both Surfers, there's no direct correlation for either of them to solely be against any of the members independently or as a group. They're just kind of, it's generalized, it's by proxy because of Galactus. And in fact, the Surfer came to their aid many times over in comic canon and vice versa. So they're not really adversaries. It's just circumstantial. Same in live action. Exactly the same. He's not necessarily against them. Neither is she. It's just all for the Herald and the Herald's duties. And so Galactus is, of course, technically an adversary of the Surfer. They don't go against
I mean, they're not like friends.
Yeah, they're not friends, but they're also Galactus has all the power in the world to literally destroy and kill the Surfer, but doesn't, because the funny thing about Galactus is kind of similar to Thanos in that they exist for their existence and their goal, but they're not good or bad, they're not right or wrong. They're just on their own path. So it's not Galactus's duty to kill the Surfer, for instance. His duty is to eat planets. So it's not a Green Goblin situation with Galactus. But we haven't yet spoken about Galan of Ta just yet. But we've mentioned him in many episodes, including this one. And, we've talked about him enough that y'all get the gist. So until we talk about him on his own, that's pretty much all we got to say about the Surfer. Whereas in live action, Galactus, portrayed by Ralph Ineson, first and last scene, first steps. And although he was reduced to a cosmic wormhole cloud in his first appearance in the 20th century Searchlight Foxverse, we got that stunningly comic accurate Galactus in First Steps, complete with his own Surfer. And despite the stark contrasts between the Galactuses, the concept is exactly the same. He is the devourer of worlds, once again. So, yeah, I mean, what do you think? Are we going to see them together? Are we just going to see Surfer?
They have to be together.
Galactus will never die, though.
Yes.
There's no way.
I think that's impossible.
Yeah, there's no way. There's like no.
Look, there's a lot of things that are like there's a lot of people you can kill,
Yeah.
but Galactus is not one of them.
No. But to your point, seeing Galactus versus the Celestial,
That's what I'm saying.
that'd be
Celestials
so
are there.
good. It's basically a kaiju movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine them like stomping in slow mo? Oh my god.
Yeah. Like also, where are they fighting? Like where where
Yeah.
like
It's New York.
yeah like.
But no, yeah. It's
Now you're just
your-
watching this as a pedestrian.
Oh my god, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I would love to see all of that. Probably will never happen, but I think there's something there. Something cosmic, something big and cosmic is going to happen again. And I think it's going to involve Galactus and the Celestials in some capacity. But I think we'll see Surfer again, SHALLA-BAL and NORRIN RADD at some point, to be honest. But yeah, time will tell. And so that brings us to Almost Was. And so, although hardly confirmed, a few names surfaced when looking for actors who may have auditioned and or been considered for the role of the Surfer, ranging from Dylan O'Brien, Jodie Comer, Jessica Chastain, and even Michael Fassbender. So they were like, well, if we go NORRIN RADD route,
That's a range.
trying to bring him in again. Since yeah, I want him back as Magneto so badly. I really want him back as Magneto, but yeah, I don't know, man. He's the right age now, so I'm okay with it. But yeah, he apparently was up for the role of NORRIN RADD in a proposed version of.
I see it. I see the vision.
I see the vision so clearly. But yeah, we got Doug Jones and Julia Garner. So. Future of the character in the MCU. Thoughts.
As long as Galactus is still there,
Yeah.
she'll still be there.
Yeah.
But in terms of just longevity of the role, I don't really know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is like the conversation we had, like was it like when with Namor? It's just like yeah. I don't know if they'll ever get their own movie,
Yeah.
but I don't know about the longevity. Like their story's probably never gonna end because in comic books, things never end.
Yeah.
You know, storylines just stop, and it's like so. Then and that's why people like nowadays are like, oh, but like, so what happened to this like person? What happened to this? It's like, oh my god, plot hole. And it's like, well, sometimes it's just not necessary for their story. You know, it's just like it is what it is.
Yeah.
So that's what it feels like with the Surfer. You know, the Surfer can't exist without Galactus. But you're not going to see Galactus every big movie. Like he's a looming figure, but he's not going to be the main villain
Right.
in every movie.
Exactly. He's not going to be a big bad. Like there's not going to be a Galactus inspired film where like Thanos, like, you know, the whole saga. It's not going to be an Infinity Saga. And not that they couldn't, but it's not there. It's just really not there.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's about the heroes. And, you know, they could always be like the looming big baddie, you know, but they're just people. Those are people you can't stop. Like Thanos, you can stop, you know.
Yeah.
But Galactus,
You cannot stop him.
you could deter, like as shown.
You can slow him down a little,
But there's no way
maybe
you're
hunky.
beating a celestial type god like that can adjust size.
Yeah.
He eats planets.
He literally devours planets.
You know, Thanos needed 6 stones to even start a new planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Galactus can just do that.
Yeah, exactly. And again, the legendary scope that he could combat against Celestials is so much bigger than I think people realize. So I don't know. I don't know when we'll see him, but I hope they're all involved in some way.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be a big, spectacular saga. It just doesn't. Seeing them in micro doses isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I think there's capacity for that. Just depends where and when. But yeah, I think we'll see them someday. Hopefully soon.
Hopefully, I mean we'll see how Doomsday. I think when Doomsday pans out, and then we get into Secret Wars. So I think Secret Wars will be like the all-encompassing, oh my God, what are we seeing on screen?
If Doug Jones comes back, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah, like if ever, like we know I'm always just thinking of like this is just like a love letter to the Foxverse.
Sure.
And I'm like, this is great. If we never see them again,
Also
I'm
satisfying.
fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. So for suggested reading, listener and Patreon supporter Andrew suggests Silver Surfer Requiem from J. Michael Straczynski, Isad Ribic, and team. And so, when those two creators are leading the charge, it's going to be a good story. This story is it's only 4 issues long. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I revisited it. And basically the Surfer is dying and he's looking to the Fantastic Four to help him. And even Reed Richards can't come up with anything.
Damn.
So you're messed up when. And so it chronicles the Surfer's experience and all of that. And it's really touching, really, really well written. It's incredible. Definitely give it a try. Volume 7 of Surfer's solo title, as previously mentioned by Dan Slott and the All Reds. Volume 1 of Surfer's solo title for a bit more of NORRIN and SHALLA-BAL. And of course, the original Fantastic Four arc that he enters in, namely issues 48 through 50, maybe 51. I couldn't remember where it left off, but great arc, great introduction to the character. It then branches off and, you're kind of just absorbed by it because he's such an interesting character, and seeing and understanding humans from his eyes is kind of awe-inspiring. And so all that said, that is the end of the show.
Whoa.
Thanks for listening. So next episode, with the debut of the Wonder Man series on Disney Plus, we're going to be discussing and potentially reviewing the entire series. So join us again in 2 weeks for our Wonder Man mini Marvel, followed by a character study all about Simon Williams, all in February. Thank you to all of our Patreon supporters, and a special We Are Groot salute to Ed, Melanie, Andrea, Chris, Ashley, Laura, Robin, Katie, Sherry, Nets, Jenny, Tyler, Andrew, and Joe Liz. Follow us on social, STRK, CNTRST, and if you experienced ads during this episode, you can unlock an ad-free version of this podcast by supporting us on Patreon. And if you like what you hear, please review, rate, and subscribe.
Once again, thanks for listening. We will catch you on the next one.
See you later.
Bye.
Your planet is now marked for death. Your world will be consumed by the Devourer. There is nothing you can do to stop him, for he is a universal force, as essential as the stars.